Namaste. My name is Dr. Ram Gopal Krishnan. I'm a senior consultant in infectious diseases at Apollo Hospitals, Chennai. And today I'll be talking to you a little bit about the most topical infection in India and indeed the whole world right now, which is COVID-19. In March 2019, we are seeing what we call a second wave of COVID, which is sweeping across the country. As you know, in India, we peaked in September last year. The cases steadily came down till about January this year. But since then, the number of cases are going up, the number of deaths are going up, and truly we are into a second wave. What are the reasons behind this second wave? Most people think it is because of our failure to observe the routine precautions that we should be doing in the first place. In other words, we are not masking, we are not staying 2 meters away from each other, we are coming into crowded areas, we are especially getting into crowded areas indoors, which have a higher risk, and we are not following proper hand hygiene. Most people think this is the reason. But a second important reason could be we have a number of new mutated viruses in India. Some of these viruses are imported. For instance, there is a virus from the UK, there is a variant from South Africa, there is one from Brazil. All of these viruses have been shown, albeit in small numbers, to be circulating in India. This is what the Indian government data shows. But in addition, we have certain mutated viruses which are unique to India. In other words, these viruses have not been seen elsewhere in the world, and it is possible that even people with pre-existing immunity may still become infected with the mutated viruses because the antibodies do not eliminate the new virus well. It is still thought that the new viruses, the mutated viruses, do not cause severe disease in people who already have infection or who have been vaccinated, but certainly mild infections are possible. And so the concept of people already being infected and therefore not being at risk for infection again, that is really not true. You can have COVID in the past, you can have immunity to COVID, but you can be reinfected with COVID. So it's very important not to let your guard down. So what should you be doing? Exactly what you were doing in 2020. If you want to avoid drastic measures like government lockdowns, which take a heavy economic toll, then your future is in your hands. Please put on a simple mask. If you leave your house, or indeed within your house, if you are meeting strangers, use your mask. This could be an ordinary 3-ply mask. You don't need an N95 mask, but use a 3-ply mask rather than a cloth mask because 3 layers filter out COVID effectively. Not only should you wear a mask, but insist that all around you wear a mask. Because if other people don't wear a mask, they can transmit their COVID to you. Remember, masks have 2 purposes. They prevent viruses from going out and they prevent viruses from coming in. So unless a significant portion of the population is masked, we are not going to interrupt COVID. Some studies have shown that in India, the masking prevalence is at best 50%, and many parts of rural India just don't mask at all. We will not be able to interrupt this pandemic unless we resort to universal masking. The second principle is the 2-meter principle. It is very difficult to get COVID outdoors if you are 2 meters away from someone else. Indoors, yes, it's possible, but that's typically within poorly ventilated or air-conditioned or closed areas where there's no circulation of air and air is recirculated. So indoors, the principles are mask, stay strictly 2 meters away from your co-worker or your classmate or your schoolmate or anybody else, and keep the windows open. If that's not possible because of hot weather, etc., then make sure there is exhaust to the outside. Make sure that you are spatially separated so the risk of transmission is as low as possible. Finally, hand hygiene. Don't touch others, and if you do, immediately use hand hygiene. The days of handshaking are over. Namaste is the way to go in the future. And any soap and water will do the job, if not alcohol-based hand hygiene. One important thing we have learned about COVID in the last year or so is that articles rarely, if ever, transmit COVID. So if somebody touches an article, the chance of your picking up COVID from that article is very low. So there's no need to disinfect vegetables, parcels, or inanimate objects on a general basis, provided you use hand hygiene after direct contact or on a frequent basis. So articles don't transmit COVID, it is persons who transmit COVID to each other. Finally, what is different between 2021 and 2020? We have an important new tool, namely the vaccine. There are 2 vaccines available in India and several more available abroad, and in fact, several more are in the pipeline. But the 2 vaccines available in India are both thought to be reasonably effective, anywhere between 70 to 90% effective as per the available data, which is a pretty good number for a vaccine. And they are all perfectly safe, right? There are really no side effects that have been proven to be due to the vaccine over what one would expect after any intramuscular injection. You're going to have some pain, you may have a fever, but that is expected for any intramuscular injection. You would get that for a tetanus shot, for instance. Even the recent reports about an increased prevalence of blood clots with the AstraZeneca Covishield vaccine really has not been proven to be more than the baseline rate. So it's really not considered to be due to the vaccine. So the vaccines are considered perfectly safe, and there are very few contraindications to this vaccine. If you have underlying diseases, your risk of COVID is high. All the more reason you should take these vaccines. Perhaps the only contraindication is if you're on a high dose of a blood thinner. I'm not talking about the antiplatelet agents like aspirin, etc., which a big proportion of the population is on. But if you're on a blood thinner, then check with your doctor. Your coagulation parameters need to be monitored before you take the vaccine. Otherwise, please take the vaccine. The government has rolled out the vaccines. All healthcare workers and all frontline personnel should already have been vaccinated. Anybody above the age of 60 has been eligible from March 1st, and from April 1st, those above the age of 45 are also eligible. So if you are above the age of 45, there is no excuse for you not to take the vaccine. Line up today. The recommended interval between the vaccines is a minimum of 4 weeks for the Covaxin. But for the Covishield, an interval of 6 to 8 weeks seems to give you a higher immunogenicity rate. In other words, the chance of your getting protection is higher by delaying the second dose to about 6 to 8 weeks after the first dose. Remember, 1 dose of vaccine is not enough. Not enough. You have to take 2 doses because your immune system kicks in only 2 weeks after the second dose. Now, the vaccine truly is a game changer, because this is what is different from last year's initial wave and this March. If people are effectively taking the vaccine, then the entire burden of COVID goes down. When the burden of COVID goes down, the chance of the virus mutating or the chance of new mutations causing fresh waves significantly falls. So it's very important for us to line up for our shots. After all, the government has subsidized them, is giving them through both the private and the public sector. There's no reason at all why you should not take your COVID vaccine. So hopefully, with the tools at our disposal, namely masking, social distancing in our day-to-day activities, proper hand hygiene, and now vaccine, we will be able to limit COVID so that we can continue economic activity. We really can't afford major lockdowns, and continue to progress and control COVID to a chronic controllable disease like influenza rather than a pandemic.